Today we are exploring Brevard, North Carolina, a beautiful, picturesque small town where waterfalls outnumber traffic lights, where you might just come across a white squirrel on your morning walk, and where legends might just be a little bit closer to the truth than you think. Today we're going to go over fun facts about Brevard, what it's like to live here, some pros and some cons, and last of all, we're going to look at some properties in the area and show you what those would look like as well. Now it is clearly a beautiful day while we're walking around out here. It's a little windy, so you're gonna see my hair flying all over the place. It's time for a cut, but it is that Thanksgiving crunch time. So we'll see what we get. So here's some cool things about Brevard, North Carolina. One, you're gonna see, and hopefully in this video I'll find some, but you're gonna see some white squirrels out here. And they're pretty curious to see because they are fully white. And no, they are not albino. They are actually a variation of the normal gray squirrel. But the local legend for them is that they, from a carnival truck from Florida, they escaped. So two squirrels escaped. They were captured by a man named Mr. Black, believe it or not, and was given to a family as a gift. Family held them as pets, named them Snowball and Snowflake. Well, one day, one of them got out, was running amok in the living room, got outside. A little while later, they just decided to let the other one free. They ended up mating with the local gray squirrel population, and boom, now Brevard is literally a haven for white squirrel. You don't really run into a town that's a squirrel haven too much, but there you go. Turns out this is actually a true story. I found an article online written by a family member back in the, I think it was 1940s, 1960s where this happened. But yeah, they're out here now, and actually they are expanding into the Asheville area and other towns around like Hendersonville. So you can start to see white squirrels all over the place out here, which is pretty fun. Now, as for Brevard itself, it's really a picturesque town for a lot of reasons. It's a small town, population less than 8,000 people. But because of that, there's a lot of history and culture here. And it's a place that has really mixed in a lot of the modern with the old, just like a lot of the towns that you see around here, Hendersonville, Black Mountain, even downtown Asheville. All of the buildings hold on to that classic architecture. The town really holds on to those historic feels, right? It holds on to its community while also embracing the future. Walking around behind me, you're gonna see a bunch of shops, you're gonna see boutiques, and there's a really big art scene here in Brevard. Reason for that, with just 8,000 people, it's a huge tourist town. And people don't just come here for the outdoors. While it is right next to a bunch of national parks and state parks, obviously waterfalls everywhere, great for mountain biking, hiking, swimming under waterfalls. There's plenty to do for sure. But what this also opens up is a lot of tourism. So people come here for the lifestyle. They come here to enjoy a little bit of a quiet mountain town. Whenever you are in a small town, if you get an opportunity to go into an antique store, go, all right? This is actually a place called Mantiques downtown. I mean, I'm home. Happy Thanksgiving. Look at these jackets. Find some cool stuff out here. Fishing rods, another thing that you can do plenty of out here is fishing. I'd say probably 10 years we're gonna have elk back here. Right now they're up towards Cherokee, but they are making their way down. I would not be surprised if we start seeing them in Brevard here in the next 10 years or so. So fun. That's what you guys are gonna see me in my next video. Whenever it's snowing, nice and warm, or some chaps. Rawr. Anybody looking for a fiddle? You will find some classic stuff if you ever get an opportunity to walk through an antique store in a small town. Awesome. Now let's go take a look at some of the nature of Brevard. Specifically, I'm going to go show you one of my favorite waterfalls in Pisgah. There's a lot of them, but this is the one that holds true to me a little bit. Now, Brevard, North Carolina is known for its water, right? And the reason for that is there's over 250 waterfalls around Brevard. Now, some of those are pretty well known. You've got Rainbow Falls, Turtleback Falls, Sliding Rock could even be considered a waterfall if you want. But for me, one of my personal favorites is one you could probably hear in the background right now with some louder white noise. If you're a local, You might recognize the staircase I'm going down right now, but it's here in Pisgah National Forest, and it's Looking Glass Falls. It's a beautiful, fun waterfall that's out here. Personally, I like it much more than Sliding Rock. I think that one's a little overrated. I'd prefer Turtleback Falls myself if you get the opportunity. But what's nice about this, it's only about 5 minutes from downtown Brevard. You have all of this nature out here. And here at Pisgah National Forest, you can do everything you want that's outdoors. Hike, mountain bike, trail run, swim underneath that waterfall. I've actually swam under that waterfall quite a bit. There's swimming holes all over the place. You can go tubing down here, horseback riding, whatever you want to do. There's something to do out here, whether that's hunting or whatever. But look at this. This is why Brevard is known for water and for waterfall. So fun thing about this waterfall, and I'm going to try to get a picture of it on here. Right there. You can't really see it currently, but there's a rock right in there. When I was in college, every May when school would get out, me and a couple of buddies would jump in right over there. You dive in, you swim across, and we'd hang out under that waterfall for about 5 to 10 minutes. Now, I'll tell you what, it's more of a polar plunge in May than anything because the air is not even that warm, but that water is freezing. So, highly recommended, maybe not in May, but go ahead and take a dip under Looking Glass Falls. Just don't go up top. Plenty of people fall from the top every year. Do not play at the top of waterfalls, especially if you're going to be living around 250 of them. Now, I've gone over a little bit of the history of the area today, right? How this all used to be timber mining. Everything was getting clear cut back in the day. And you can learn a lot more about that here in Pisgah National Forest. Right down the road here, there is the Cradle of Forestry. It goes through all of the history of the area, timber mining, but also the rejuvenation of these mountains. These mountains are beautiful, and they're not quite what they used to be, but they're way better than they were. If you want to learn some more, I highly recommend going down to the Cradle of Forestry, learning a little bit about how they planted all of these trees and reforested this entire area. There's a lot more that's going to happen. Love these mountains. All right, so check this out. These are the woods. This is Pisgah National Forest. Over here is what they looks like before. If you go to the other side of the road, this is what it looks like after a controlled burn. You can actually see through the woods. It reduces a lot of the undergrowth and just crud that kind of builds up naturally. But look at that. That is some healthy dirt over there that is ready for some new plant life and regenerating the forest. All right, so starting our little tour of homes here in Brevard, we have this little cute bungalow behind me. 2-bed, 1-bath, built in 1920, but you couldn't tell by looking at it. Beautifully updated. This property is actually just steps away from downtown. So it's literally right across the street, walking distance to shops, whatever you're looking for. And it's only $345,000. So while that is a little bit more expensive than what you're probably thinking for a 2-bed, 1-bath, 1,000 square foot, a little over 1,000 square feet, it's also for the location, right? It's right away across from downtown. Honestly, it could even be a great rental opportunity for short-term rentals out here, especially during the busy tourism season. So this is one of the beauties that we've got out here, just kind of starting things off and showing what's the potential out here, right? Now, prices are going to go up as we go, but this is one to keep in mind. Next, we have stop 3 of our home tour. Now, this one is also just outside of downtown. Beautiful property. And I'm going to kind of do a twofer here, right? So the one behind me right here is a 3-bed, 2-bath. It is over 2,300 square feet, built in 1940, but fully updated and renovated, right? Go ahead and look at that. That property right there, walkable, again, to downtown. Downtown is literally straight down this road. You're there. This house, $650,000, right? So it's definitely higher up there compared to the last one that we saw. Again, beautiful house, beautiful oak flooring, fully renovated kitchen, plumbing, all of that. Now, what's cool, I'm going to show you one right next to it. That house right there. That house actually just sold recently, but I'm going to talk about it anyway because it's right next door. This one is also a 3-2. A little less square footage, as you can see. Also, not a full brick exterior. But This property was actually $595, so a little less. Again, right across the street, quiet little block, right across the street from, well, not across the street, but walking distance to downtown. You're less than a quarter mile away. Beautiful spot to be. And that's really one of the cool things is there's so much walkability here, but there's also rural homes as well. And that's one of the ones I'm going to show you next. It's going to be a little bit more rural and a lot more expensive. But that's what we're going to finish this one out on and see what some of these properties look like in Brevard. But I mean, honestly, look at this little neighborhood. Just a little strip right here. Beautiful homes, nice and quiet. But everything has its own its own vibe, right? It's just nice and chill and relaxed and not cookie cutter housing, which I love. I'm not a fan of cookie cutter houses. Give me something different, something special. I don't even know if you can see it. See a little, you can see the little peak of blue right there. It's like a little blue teal house over there. My wife's gonna give me a hard time. She's gonna see that and be like, that's not what color it is. Not the best with colors. All right, so rounding us off, I am keeping us sub 1 million today, even though there are some much more expensive properties out here. This one is only 3 miles from downtown. It's right across the street from the Racquet Club. 5 bed, 3 bath, 3,400 square feet on an 1.5 acres with a detached 3-car garage. I give you this beautiful home. Now this home is sub 1 million, but not by too much. It's about 985,000. So still a pretty penny, but you're also getting an 1.5 acres and all of that land, right? Plenty to do, plenty to see. 3 miles from downtown, right across from the Racquet Club. There's plenty out here in Brevard, and these are just 3 homes to take a look at. That's our tour of Brevard, North Carolina. But I want to hear from you. What do you love about Brevard? What are some things that you're curious about, you'd like to see, questions you might have, or why you even decided that you wanted to look into Brevard in the first place? It is a small town, right? So I want to hear about that. Go ahead and put some stuff in the comments. Every day I hear from people just like you who want to make these mountains their home, and I'm here to help. If you want to get in touch, go ahead down in this description. You're going to have all of our contact information. I want to hear from you and make your dreams a reality. I'm Dylan Slattery. Until next time.